Welcome back to Mystic Like My Mama, a podcast presented by Ask Penjie. I'm Isabella, and this is my mama, Tina, and we are a mother-daughter duo and the co-founders of Ask Penjie. In this show, we'll talk about accessing your intuition and how we integrate ancient wisdom into our modern lives. Modern lives. Welcome back, everybody. I
Yay,
needed a little redo,
welcome back.
but we got it. We got it. It's good to be back. Episode 11. The number 11 is very meaningful in manifestation. 1111, number 11. So this feels pretty lucky.
Yes,
hmm
it
So
does.
we wanted to start with telling you guys what we did this week. We went to a really fun book signing for somebody who we have followed online for a long time and I've learned a lot from. And it was really exciting, very last minute, very like I didn't even know it was a thing. And we ended up in Santa Monica. And I didn't even know she had a book coming out. I think I knew, I couldn't remember if I knew, but then mom found it and got tickets and it was so fun. So we went to Spirit Daughters book signing in Santa Monica. If you don't know Spirit Daughter, you've got to look her up on Instagram. Incredible astrology and all of that good stuff. And we got her book.
And she signed it to us.
And she did. She signed it. It's so pretty and rainbow and sparkly. And she was so sweet. And it was so fun to hear her talk. And Krista from the Almost 30 podcast was there. And she
She
was
was so
great.
sweet too.
It
Yeah.
was so fun meeting both of them. And I liked the conversations they had and talking about astrology and how they use astrology and Jill's crazy life experiences that are in this book too. Um, it was fun.
It was fun. We met a lot of great people and I made you sit in front, which is, it's hard for me to sit in front, honestly, because of the energy of everyone
Yeah.
behind me and all the eyeballs in the back of my head. But I really felt like I wanted to sit in those seats up front since we got there early anyway. But it was just really cool. It's always nice to go and see these people. You just realize we're all the same. Like we're all just, human
Same
beings.
issues, same emotions.
Yeah, same
Same.
issues, same emotions, and everyone. It's interesting because you just see that everyone there is searching and seeking for the same things. Everyone's looking for answers. Everyone's looking for comfort. Everyone's looking for soothing their soul as a human being. Being a spirit in a human body is not easy for anybody, and we think that other people have it easier, have
Mm-hmm.
it better, and there's something to be said when you go to see someone, you want to make sure that they're not like a guru. Like she even said that. Like she doesn't want to be put on a pedestal. Like she's just like us, but this
Mhm.
is her zone of,
She's sharing her wisdom, but she knows she's not separate from anybody, and that's, the biggest thing we're speaking to. So it was
yeah,
so on the nose, it was perfect. But
yeah,
it was
it was
funny
really
too,
nice.
because we sat up front, but it wasn't even that big of a space. So it
Mhm.
was like anywhere kind of would have been close, but we were like really close.
We were, but it was really funny because I feel, and where everyone's going to hear in this episode, I feel that I have so enjoyed your perspective. Like you have
Mhm.
really inspired me to have a different perspective of how to kind of embrace astrology and have it as part of my life. And again, it's how you use it and how you kind of bring it into your world that matters. But I love your perspective that you're going to share with us. But so while we were there, I just like kind of put you on the spot and I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
But everyone, they were like, let's do a Q and A and let's ask questions. And I didn't really have a question and I didn't think you did either. But I thought to myself, I'm like, you should speak. Like everybody here would benefit from your perspective on astrology. And just being your age and everything like that. So I pretty much said, you need to raise your hand and you need to tell them how you feel. And I said, I dare you,
Mhm.
which was so funny because I don't do that. Like I
No, it was so funny, and I did it. I took it.
You did great. Yeah. And I kind of really enjoyed it. I loved hearing you speak. I thought it was so brave of you to kind of share your perspective with everyone. And I wanted to just show everyone that we are wearing these little astrology necklaces. Shout out to my mom who got us our these necklaces quite a while ago. But I am an Aquarius.
And I'm a Taurus.
Yes.
And I
Aquarius.
love it. I wear mine all the time. I've pretty much worn this every day since she gave it to me.
I don't wear mine that often. I think sometimes I forget. But anyway, I
You have
we
a you have a lot of cute necklaces. This one
yeah.
became like part of my little stack, and then I just always wear it.
And mine kind of looks like a crown. I should be wearing it more
Ooh.
often, actually. Yeah, so we have that, but you're the one who has taught me so many more details about, if I would like think like, oh, I'm an Aquarius, and what does that even mean? And
Yeah,
and anyway, so we're gonna get into that. But
we'll get into all that.
we did have a really good time going, and it was a beautiful event, and yeah, we're just grateful we got to go. I didn't know that it was so small, so it was really cool when I signed up for the free tickets. I didn't know how many there would be, and it sold out pretty fast.
I
Um,
love an intimate event when
it
it's
was
like
intimate.
so I don't like I always say that for concerts too. Like it's so special to go to a big concert. It's so fun. There's nothing like it. But something about being in a smaller venue when it's just a whole different energy. And again, not I will take any ticket to go to a big venue. I love a concert, but there's something about the small venue. I love it. So book signing was the same way. It was like so, I don't know, cute and cozy and she was so great and
It was really sweet.
it was cool. It was really cool. So we'll do our card reading really quick.
Okay.
Got my dreamy moons.
So everybody, before our collective, before Isabella chooses our collective card, I want you to think about something that you've been focused on, something that has been weighing on your heart, something you've been thinking of, a decision you have to make, a situation that you're in, a relationship. Yeah, just anything like that. Just be mindful. Bella knocked 3 times to infuse her energy in for all of us to start the deck over energetically. And I'm excited to see what card you get.
I just dropped quite a few of them.
Oh, okay. How many? Like a big stack
I
because you
don't,
can't hold it, or are they like meaningful?
no, I don't know. I dropped three. I don't know if we
Oh,
throw them.
that's fine. Let's
No,
do
no,
it.
no, no, no. I didn't officially mix them. It was
Oh, okay.
last week's card. It's
Okay.
like, let's
Okay. Do it again.
one more time. I wasn't feeling that.
One more
Redo.
time. Redo. Okay. Yes. So everybody focus on your energy, your question, your concern, your just message that you would like to receive
I
tonight.
got it. That
Okay.
was awesome. It flew out.
Did
Okay.
it fly out? Okay.
It not only flew out, it looks like it's flying out. Ready? Dolphin.
Oh, joy. I love that card. I read the bottom.
Haven't
I can't
gotten
read it.
Look how sparkly it looks.
What does it say?
It says joy. Your inner child is here to play.
Oh, I think we forget that. I know I certainly do. Like we forget that we are here to be joyful and play.
Okay,
Sometimes we
let's
take
find
life
too seriously.
too seriously. Yes.
Absolutely. Good reminder. So reminder we need every day. Okay. Ready?
Mhm.
Joy, your inner child is here to play. The real you is still a little child who never grew up. Sometimes that little child comes out when you are having fun or playing, when you feel happy or expressing yourself in some way. These are the happiest moments of your life when the real you comes out. Don Miguel Ruiz.
Don
Dolphin?
Miguel Ruiz. Sorry.
No, do it.
We'll have an episode about him actually, but he's the one who wrote the Four Agreements.
Mm-hmm. Big fan. Big fans over
Yeah.
here. Dolphins signify playfulness and joy. They are gentle creatures that are in tune with their instincts. Your inner child is here to play, that innocent, playful, curious, carefree part of you that is unconditionally happy. The part of you that is silly and fun-loving. Let go of your image and the way you want others to perceive you. Give yourself permission to laugh at yourself. Instead of taking everything to heart, don't be so serious. If this card came up in a general reading, treat it as a sign that joy is near and on its way. You are attracting an event or a person or an experience in your life that will bring you great joy. Affirmation. My heart is full of joy. I attract joy into my life and share joy with others. This is so good.
I like that card. I actually don't think we've chosen that card either. I
I
don't know.
know.
Sometimes I forget, I guess.
I know it's funny too because when a lot of times when I pull cards, I will sometimes get for years on end similar cards. Like if I'm going through something and I get similar message that I'm working through, so it always still like even though if we do it often, I'll still get similar cards sometimes based on what I'm going through, and sometimes I find new ones. They come out, I'm like, I did not have that card before. So that is definitely one of them, I think. So that
Very
was
cool.
fun.
So, what are we going to talk about today,
Yes.
Isabella?
So, getting into our theme for today, we are going to be talking about astrology, and that leads me to lots of different tangents and opinions. But the main theme is astrology and our thoughts on astrology. Um, I grew up loving personality quizzes of any kind. I always loved wanting to understand myself and my brain and the way I think and the things that I like and why I like the things that I like. And I've always been super analytical. I wasn't just I have a favorite color. It's okay. Why is that my favorite color? Oh, how does it make me feel? What do I like about it? Where do I want it? Why do I feel the way I do? All those things. And then that goes for everything. And then the funny thing is that I grew up with you, little Miss Aquarius over there, who was not a big fan of labels. You were like, what? Like, and I was little. I was like, Mom, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? And you're like, I don't want to pick. Like, I love the whole rainbow. I don't want to pick a favorite food. I love lots of foods. And I was like, what? You have to have a favorite. That's how I like figure out who you are and what you like. So it was so funny. But do you want to add anything to that?
No, I was just going to say for everyone what is astrology basically? Like say somebody doesn't
We'll
know
get to
or
that.
they don't know that word or something like that.
Yes. Okay.
Um,
So to preface, beginner of astrology, I will get into my story of how I learned about astrology and everything, but astrology is basically a way of reading the stars. Most of us learn our sun sign,
the
just
stars, the sun, the moon, the planets, like
everything, the whole universe, the picture of the universe is a way to read what's going on in
and
life.
how it affects us and has an influence on us and our bodies and our thoughts and our
Exactly. And the biggest misconception is that it's something more tied to spirituality than it is, when in reality, it's always been based in science. And it's something that scientists, royalty, governments, people of all different sources of power or big decisions have always used astrologers or consulted astrology. And a lot of people now think that it's like intertwined with spirituality or philosophy, but it's not. It's really based in science because you're truly reading nature and the stars. But anyways, most of us learn our sun sign at a young age, especially I think in America because everybody you find out your month and then you get a zodiac sign, right? So because I'm born in May, I get Taurus, and then the whole month is that, you know, for the most part. And then it goes into Gemini. But whatever, we most of us know our sun sign, but we don't know much about it. It doesn't mean anything to us. We don't know the details. And so when I was little, I did not like astrology. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it because, like I said, I was always into learning about my personality and what makes me me and what I like and what my favorite things are. And my sister and I have the same sun sign. And we were very different. So I was like, there's no way we're both Taurus because we're so different in personalities. So I kind of always brushed off astrology. I was like, yeah, it's cool. It sounds cool, but I'm not like my sister and I are different. So how is there truth in it? Then the thing that changed my life was I did my 200-hour yoga training certification when I was 17. And we'll get into that another day. That's super cool. We were like the first teenagers in the country to be certified in yoga. Um, but I did that, and a bunch of the girls and teachers were asking me, "Oh, what's your big three?" And I'm like, "Big three? What are they talking about? What is this?" And then they're like, "Oh, your birth chart." And I'm like, "Birth? You mean my birth date? Like my birth certificate? What are we talking about?" And they were like, "No, no, no, your birth chart in astrology." And then they were telling me that when you do your birth chart, you get all of these placements, and it's your whole chart based on when you were born, and not just your sun sign, like based on your month. So
and it's not just your month, it's your day, it's your time of birth. It's much more kind of zoomed in, right?
so many details. Yes, it's very zoomed in. It's very personal. It's very specific. Even sometimes twins can have different placements, even though they're born so close together. Like it's so specific. Um, I ended up doing my birth chart at 17, and I found out my whole entire placement, and all of a sudden astrology started seeming very meaningful to me because I was reading things about it and about my placements, and I was like, wow, this is very specific and it's very different. These are things I haven't even shared with people, and they're how I think or feel, and it's right on the money. And I ended up doing my sister's chart, and it was very different. So even though we both had the same sun sign, we had completely different of every single other placement. The main ones that we started learning when I just got into it was not just your sun sign, which is the main one, but then your sun, your moon, and your rising. And when people talk about the big three, they mean your sun, your moon, and your rising. And that's a good like beginner intro because there is so much to learn about astrology. I've only like tapped my toes in the water. There's like the houses and the placements and there's so many things, but the sun, moon, and rising is where I started, and I found out that we had different sun, moons, and rising, and then I started to get really into it because I was really resonating with the stuff I was learning about it, and then I did yours, obviously, because I was like, give me, I need to learn about everybody now. But I've always liked that kind of stuff, numerology, personality quizzes, astrology, so this was just another thing on the road. As soon as I learned about it, I was like, I gotta get into this. Do you have anything to add before I get into my astrology spiel?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that growing up, I knew so many people in my life who were Aquarius.
Hmm.
And when I was growing up, we had something called newspapers. Remember we talked about it last time?
What are
But
those?
I think I don't know if there's anyone who doesn't love to read their fortune, like get a fortune
Hmm.
cookie or read their fortune, or if it even says, what's happening, this month for Aquarius, you want to see because I don't know, maybe you'll get some insight. But I feel like what I thought of it was always telling me what to think, what to feel, who I was. So that's why I didn't really embrace it because I never, like you said, labels, but I never want to be told who I am. I want to explore and find out who I am. So when I was growing up, I didn't know what you taught me, which you're going to share with everybody, was that it can really become such an exploration for, self-help and personal growth and self-awareness. So I'm just going
Absolutely.
to let you take over and explain, and then I'll come
Thank you.
back.
And little sidebar, side note, it's so Aquarius of you to even say that. You're like, I don't even want to get into astrology because I don't want to be told what to do. That in itself is kind of Aquarius
Yeah.
energy.
It's funny
Um,
because as you would learn so much about it, I would do something or be be a certain way, and you're always like, "Oh, mom, that's so like your big three," or like, "Of course you're like that. That's your big three, and of course you're like that. That's where your moon is." And like, I'm all like, "Please teach me. Like, tell me more."
I try to not overdo it, like not point it out too much or something, but it's funny to make a little joke here and there, especially when it's so specific. Like you do
But it's
something, I'm like,
exactly, and it's fun when it actually fits, right? Like, and you
hmm,
resonate with it.
so fun. So
Oh,
my
I was just
big,
gonna say,
yeah.
sorry, one more thing. I was just gonna say, I think the other thing that I want people to keep in mind always is also like this and everything else, cautionary warning is that, you might follow people online. You might, there's so many different people, right? Like we introduced Spirit Daughter, but there's so many different people who do astrology or study it or go really deep. Like there's somebody else that I really like, Danielle Page. Um, and I resonate with a lot of stuff, but you also have to make sure whoever you follow, whoever you learn from, like, do you resonate with who they are, what they say, what they're teaching about, things like that. Again, it always comes back to tuning in and checking in with your intuition.
Yeah, 100%. We
Okay.
bring it back around to intuition. Um, so yeah, my little spiel I always do about astrology is that I love it as a tool for building self-awareness and for psychology. And that goes back to me being very little and the same way that I used personality quizzes in a magazine or on a site or something was it was just me learning how to view myself and view how I feel and my thoughts and what I like and building those deep levels of self-awareness that sometimes it's hard to know an exact practice of how to do that. Like how, like when someone says someone's self-aware or someone isn't, or how, like what are steps you actually take to build self-awareness? And for me, this was a huge, these are actual steps that I took was um,
It's so
whether or not, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just going to tell you. It's so cool you're saying that because like someone like Carl Jung, if you
Hmm.
guys study Carl Jung, but he embraced and he was very interested in astrology. So it just kind of shows the connection between psychology and astrology and all of
Definitely.
that. Everything you're saying about self-discovery.
100%. Some of the brightest minds and psychologists and scientists have used astrology for similar reasons. Um, but yes, it helped me to build that self-awareness because before I get into talking about astrology, like getting a personality quiz, something, even if it's wrong, even if it's like, what food are you? Like on BuzzFeed that I used to take, it's like whether it was right or wrong, or it was accurate to me, it would make me think. And I'd be like, wait, I don't want to be a coffee. I want to be a whatever. But so at that little age, it was making me really think about myself and how I feel and what I resonate with. So it builds a strong sense of self and strong sense of self-awareness. So astrology is the same thing for me. I love using it as a tool of becoming more aware, analyzing your patterns, noticing your emotions, how you show up, how you feel, what resonates, what doesn't. One of the biggest things about astrology is that there are healed and unhealed versions of each sign and placement. So if you hear something negative about one sign and everyone's like, this sign always this, and then you kind of resent it because you're like, well, I'm that sign and I'm not that way. It could be that that's like a negative, unhealed shadow part of that sign, and you don't have that. You've done the work or you're in a more healed place. You don't resonate with that. Um, but so many kids and young people are always searching for their identity or for a title or for a personality or something. They're searching, searching, searching. And most people don't want to do that work. They don't want to do the work of becoming self-aware and deciding who they are and what they like. So they want to be told who they are. And a cheat sheet of that seems to be astrology. You go on Instagram and it's like, oh, you're a Libra, so you like these colors and this is the outfit and this is the kind of people you date and this and this and this. And it's such a simple version of it and people, grab onto that, right? Because they want to be told who they are.
And
But
then
I
they actually sometimes get stuck in that. Like somebody would tell
Mhm.
me, like, I can't be with daddy because he's an Aquarius and I'm an Aquarius. So they would be like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't meet that person or I can't date
Mhm.
that person because they're a Leo. But that, like, that's the rigid part that we're explaining, right? That you're sharing with us, like not to do.
Yeah, but also it's just very simplistic. Like it's just a different, um, it's a very simple, dismissive thing. But yeah, lots of young people are looking for identities. They don't want to do the work. So I think astrology becomes an easy access point of finding an identity. But I encourage anybody who learns about astrology to not just be like, I'm this, and then just go with it, but actually use it as a point, a jumping off point of deciding who you feel and deciding how you feel it and analyzing yourself and reading about it and breaking it down like on a more nuanced level rather than just that superficial little, like you said, fortune or your horoscope of the day on an Instagram page. Though there's plenty of Instagram pages that are amazing, but sometimes they're just very, very simple. So it's fun to get into it and like learn and break it down for yourself. And I also think, like many people, like me, many people have had the experience of, being like, I don't really, there's no way I relate to everyone in the world who's born in the same month. There's no possible way I'm the same as my grocery guy who happens to have the same sun sign. So it's like if you're like that, if you're more hesitant or, the vague grouping of your sun sign hasn't always resonated with you, that's when it's so fun to do your birth chart and go into the more deeper stuff because it becomes so personal and so specific. So that's really fun.
I'm curious, can you share with us how you actually use astrology, like on a day-to-day basis, like just going further than like reading your horoscope or reading what you're going to do? I know a lot of accounts even say, and I've done it too, especially when I'm in a moment of crisis or deep emotional like turmoil. I love the ones that go day to day and it's like today, every day you're
Mhm.
checking it, right? Because you're like, please, my gosh, give me something good, good to hold on to. I need a message to hold on to. But how do you kind of infuse it into your daily life and as a practice?
That is a great question. I don't rely on those a lot. I don't tend to read the daily horoscope things. They're not really my thing. I don't really need it to tell me I'm gonna have a joyful or fortful. Wait, what's the word? I
I don't know. What word are you trying to say?
was gonna say like a very fortuneful day.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't think of the word.
Fortuneful.
Um, Yeah, so I don't really rely on those. I do like at the beginning of the year, then it's like a big reading like for Cancer rising. This is the entire like, scope of the year possibly. I like that kind of stuff, but I personally really like to use astrology, like I said, for more identity-based stuff. Breaking down my personality, my patterns. I like it for like emotional patterns. Like there's things that I've dealt with since I was little, whether it be how I process things or um, places I have emotional walls up or boundaries or just the way I like interpret the world. And that's my favorite place to use it. Like I will go and read about it, or if there's something in my life I'm currently struggling with, like maybe a communication or like when I was little, I would always process a lot of my sadness. When I was little, it still happens. I would process a lot of my sadness through anger. And I was always very confused by this because people around me would go, if they're sad, they'd be sad. And then if they're angry, they'd be angry. But if I was sad, I would get angry. And I was very confused by it. And I always thought something was wrong with me. And I didn't know why I did that. And then learning about my astrology and reading about my Aries Mercury, which is the sign of communication, it actually made me understand kind of why my brain interprets my feelings that way. And then it would make me more conscious in those moments where I'm actually heated or feeling those things to be like, oh, wait, I understand the pattern that's happening right now. I can navigate it differently because it's bringing awareness to the
Wow.
situation. So that's
What a
my favorite.
gift.
Yeah, so that's my now this is complex stuff. This is not beginner level. No, I'm kidding. I don't know that much about astrology, but that's my favorite way to use it because I don't personally jive with the whole like, yeah, they're a Libra. I can't be friends with them or this, whatever. It's fun I like to do the astrology of my friends and family and the people around me, and it's fun. But for the same reason I like to do it for myself is because I like to help you understand yourself better. I don't really feel like it's my place or my job to be like, um, these are X, Y, and Z reasons why we're not compatible or I won't get along with you. Or it's like, if I'm not going to get along with you, we'll just find out through like interaction or communication. I don't need that. But I know a lot of people like to use astrology, I think for the similar reason you said about the horoscope, is they want to know something about their day or be led into something, or they want to have, they want to know who to be friends with and who not. But
Mhm.
that's not intuitive for me. I don't like that. I want to intuitively decide how I feel and who I resonate with, not just someone say that Taurus and Aquarius can't be friends.
Yeah.
Like,
And I have never loved anything that's like a generalization,
yeah,
generalization of a food, a person, a subject, a
hmm,
country, like just, yeah,
yeah,
it's all based on energy. I love that you
100%. So
said that.
100%. So that's my favorite. My main way I would say is that I use it for understanding myself and healing. If I'm sure we'll get into that too, but like shadow work and a lot of the like deep mental work that you can do to rewire your mindset and your subconscious. That's actually how I like to use astrology and understanding myself in that way. So that's very different than I think the way most people use it. But don't get me wrong, I love a good, I'm scrolling on TikTok and they're like, if you're a Gemini Venus, this is the fashion you should be wearing. It's normally not my taste, but I love it. I love a little aesthetic compilation. Um, but it's just different. It's so deep and nuanced that I think a lot of us even know, and there's so much to learn about it. And um, just a little basic understanding of it. Your sun sign is often your core identity. So it's kind of who you are. Think of like a house, like the foundation, the core of who you are. And it kind of affects your entire chart and other placements based on the core of what it is. And then your moon sign is your most personal placement because it's your emotional world. So sun sign is outer and core, and then moon sign is your personal world. So it'll be your emotions, it'll be kind of things that you want, how you feel. Like a lot of times people will find their moon sign is even more specific or personal to them than their sun sign. So I'd say if you've never resonated with your zodiac or whatever, find out what your moon sign is. It might be even more specific and accurate to who you are. And then your rising or your ascendant, people use both terms and they kind of interchangeable. So rising or ascendant is your outer world and it's your aura, it's your energy, it's how other people perceive you. Sometimes it's things you're attracted to on an outer world, like your aesthetic or the way you like to decorate your house or the things you like to have around you. Kind of just like the mood, but it's normally your outer energy. So sun sign is your core, moon sign is your emotional internal world, and then rising ascendant is your outer world.
I love that. See, where were you when I was young? You weren't there to help guide me. It's really cool. It's so fascinating. And I do love to see how people have different takes on it and how they feel and how they, interpret it and things like
Hmm.
that. But I want everyone to keep in mind that people also interpret it through the filter, their own filter of their consciousness. So that's why I say be mindful of whose filter you receive that
Be
information through.
intuitive and see what you resonate with. Because, like we were taught, like Jill was talking about at the Spirit Daughter book signing, a lot of people are using AI for their astrology, which is super cool, but it's not accurate yet because it's pulling information from all different places and it's also estimating a lot of times. So this is when it's so important to fact check. Like if I read about a placement or a sign, I don't rely solely on one article or one thing. I kind of read a bunch from a different places, and then I gather it in my head of like all the source material and my understanding of that sign or that placement or something, and then apply it to myself. Rather, like I don't just read one and then I'm like, okay, that is the moon sign. That is what it's like. Pull from different places, read different information, read on Instagram, read books, read articles, Google it, ask AI, but just pull from all different places instead of one source, I would say.
Yeah. And it's a perfect place to use Penji, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you would want to kind of confirm and validate like is the information that you're reading or, something like that, is it beneficial to you? Does it add to your well-being? I mean, I think we need to always be mindful of content that we read and that we, receive from wherever we receive it. You must continue to become and be a critical thinker. Like you just have to
Absolutely.
literally, and I love people that can say, I don't know, like just be like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Like, and then take a time, to like pause and tune in just to see where you're spending your time and what you're allowing into your space and your head and your consciousness. So
absolutely.
yeah,
And I was gonna say too, I think it's pretty easy to know like if you resonate with it or not pretty quickly. But then I was also I had a counter to my own statement, which I was gonna say sometimes it calls you out on things that you might, like I said, if you're not ready to confront or you're not aware of about yourself. So you could be dismissive. You could be like, "Ugh, I'm not like that." And you might be. That might be something you haven't unpacked yet. So you have to be very much in a space of critical thinking because it's both, do I resonate with this and does it feel accurate to me? But also, just because you think like, oh, I'm not like that, it doesn't mean you shouldn't like contemplate it. Like maybe where
yeah.
is that coming from? Like let's think about it. Let's see what it's saying. So
I like that. And you
yeah.
know what else to add to that what you're saying? I think the other thing is too when you're doing personal growth and you are exploring yourself, right? It's a lot of times like you said we don't want to look at the shadow parts of us,
Hmm.
but I think we can have such amazing growth by recognizing patterns or, times where we are more sensitive or times where we are feeling that and if we can put together patterns and if we can not necessarily label ourselves, but we can know that, oh, maybe that's a sensitivity of mine, but that's maybe my superpower is
Yeah.
that I'm more sensitive or, things like that, then we can really, grow and shift and change. And we are here to do that. Like, we're not here to be like, I'm an Aquarius, so that's how it is, and that's how I'll always be.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to have the best parts of life and the best, relationships full of connection and respect and things like that, you're kind of always growing. Like you're always in a state of, not like every single day, you're not always doing work. You can sit back and be joyful, but you're always, as soon as something comes up and, bumps for you, you might say to yourself, I wonder, like a few people have said that. I wonder what is my role in my relationships? What is my role in my career? Like, how am I participating and responsible again for the energy I'm bringing?
Absolutely. And it also makes me think of that's an aspect of astrology that is I have not really tapped into yet, but there's astrologers know how to read your chart in like life path format of like how you're evolving emotionally or like things that you're going to hit during your life. So a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is like the identity of astrology and your personality and who you are and whatever. But there's ways of reading it of like emotional, things that you'll go through or evolutions that you'll hit. And that's a lot more, like you said, it's less set. It's going to be different if you read that at 20 versus at 40 and then 60. Like each point is going to be a different reading because it's based on um, the evolutions that you go through. So yeah, your placements stay the same, but then those change as you go through different points of your life. But I was also just gonna say that like one of the main things I don't resonate with that people say about astrology all the time, and a lot of, young people do this, but it's always like, um, they just miss a whole sign. Like I hate Scorpios, right? Like it's a whole thing. And like I never get along with Scorpios, whatever. Or there's certain signs that are hated or like,
Really?
yeah, like there's signs that people don't like and they're kind
Is
of like
mine?
troublemakers.
Just
No,
kidding. I haven't heard of that.
but it depends and everyone has their own opinions. But
Oh, so they have like their own little rep on the
there's
street.
like a rep on the street, like stereotypes. So
Ah.
some people are even scared to say their sign because they're like, they know the internet rep of like these signs are bad people. But
Oh,
I will
wow.
say from personal experience, some of my best friends, people I've loved the most, are signs that are quote unquote the bad signs or whatever. And that's never been a thing for me. Like those are just the people I resonate with more. And it's because, like I said at the beginning, there's evolved and unevolved versions of every sign and every like emotional thing. Like just because someone is an Aries, it doesn't mean that they're the same kind of Aries as
Hmm.
somebody who has anger issues and has all these problems and and then someone associates that with that sign. But it's we're all people, we're all on different emotional journeys and different healings and different things that we're bringing to the table. So your sign doesn't just dictate that. It's the own personal work that you do. So,
Yeah. And so again, we don't want to label or generalize groups and masses of people. Like that's just let's use it as a tool,
mhm.
perhaps, for definitely for self-awareness. Like it's for us. It's not for us to go around and say, "Oh, well, you're acting like such an Aquarius."
Mhm.
And it's we don't want to use it as a weapon. We don't want to villainize people. Like we're trying to inspire whoever's listening to this to use it for good. So
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
has, beautiful powers, but we don't want to become evangelistic. We don't want to
Mhm.
analyze people without their permission. So everything that you do in life and every time when you interact or you do readings or things like that, you always also have to have people's permission. Like you don't need to be typing in your like, friend's birth chart to see if you're like, wait, what's that face? Do you not want to say that?
No, no, you can say it. I just don't know if I listen.
Oh, okay. No, I believe it's just like Penji. You don't have a right to, okay, well say listen to me. Okay, maybe you want to do it for like research purposes, but I don't think that it's cool for you to go to like a friend or okay, let's just use you and I. You don't like something I'm saying or some way that I'm behaving or something I'm doing. So you're do on your computer and you're like typing in my stuff and you're like using my birth time and you're like, which you're not supposed to do without my permission. You know my city of birth because you know me. And you're typing stuff in. And then next thing you know, you'd be like, listen, I read this thing about you. And it's very typical that you act this way. And like, you cannot weaponize your information. It should be done with love.
100%. Never tell people where you're getting your information from. Manipulation 101. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't tell people you're reading about them. Um, kidding,
But
kidding, kidding. Disclaimers.
no, because people can use it in a way to manipulate and blame and, categorize
No,
someone. And
absolutely, absolutely. And
yeah.
like you said, this comes back to what you were saying. Everyone is seeing it through their lens. So even if you are, let's say you are using it to use it against somebody or whatever, you're seeing it through the lens that you're viewing that person. So you're going to find what you're looking for, or you're going to have an interpretation that's
Yes.
different.
You're going to find what you're looking for because we are going to have another show about that. Yes, whatever you
Yeah.
believe and you perceive, then you go look for and you find it, then you believe it's true and it's not necessarily true. It's
Yeah.
just true for you based on
Yeah.
where you're. Okay, that's awesome. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But you
it is so
really,
fun.
yeah, but you really, it's just like anything. If you don't infuse mindfulness into it, then it becomes something that is destructive. And
Yeah.
that's not what we're intending to do with it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Spider-Man.
I'm sure Spider-Man
Or
says
like Buddha, Carl Jung, Spider-Man.
it.
The Holy
Exactly.
Trinity.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing.
it's
Can
so good. I saw this TikTok and it said, um, it was some guy that was texting his mom and he said, "Mom, what's my birth time?" And she texted back, "I don't want you dating anyone who's asking for your birth time." Like she knew the joke. Like, there's kind of a joke that a lot of girls will ask before they start dating someone to find out who they are, their astrology, do a little read up on them. But it was funny because the mom was like, "No, no, 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 no." She cut it off early.
That's so funny. I love that. That is great.
It was funny.
That's so funny. Oh my God. Okay. So are you guys ready for the crystal of the week?
Crystal of the week.
Okay. So you guys, what's really cute about this crystal is that we years ago, my husband and I had a video game company back in the day. We used to make video games and we used to come up with the titles and do voiceovers. And the girls, when they were young, they used to do voiceovers for us. So, Bella, you're going to remember this crystal. And the game that we made was called Crystal Freak, which we should bring back, honestly, and have it like in the App Store.
Absolutely. It was so good.
Yeah. But anyway, it's, and people say this differently, but I'm going to say it as lapis lazuli.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say it in the
Yeah,
way you
yeah.
did
So
it?
this is how I said it in the game. I went lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli. It's
We
so
love
cute. I hear it. I
it
had
was
like the wave of the memory go come over me.
Yes, it was so cute. Oh my God. We'll have to find a picture of Crystal Freak. Anyways, I love lapis because it is a third eye um and throat chakra crystal. It's for the mental body, for the energy body, for mental health and things like that. It encourages communication and truth, and it stimulates intuition. It's a very good stone for intuition, which is everything that we are teaching and sharing on here. It's also good for stilling the mind and tuning into higher guidance. So learning to communicate not only down here, but also in a
Mm.
higher consciousness level. Let me see what else it says here. So it opens the third eye, balances the throat chakra. It stimulates enlightenment, enhances dream work, psychic abilities, facilitating spiritual journeying, and stimulating personal and spiritual power. It can release stress, bringing deep peace, um, enormous serenity. Um, it says it's a protective stone that contacts spirit guardians. This
Ooh.
stone, yeah, this stone recognizes psychic attack, blocks it, and returns the energy to its source, which is really cool. I love that. Um, it said, let's see. For healing, it can help alleviate pain like migraine headaches. It helps overcome depression, benefits respiratory, nervous systems, obviously the throat, thyroid, um, thymus, immune system. It's interesting. It says it can be used to purify the blood, boost the immune system, alleviates insomnia, can help lower blood pressure. Now, I know sometimes when we're talking about these and we're using crystals. I remember when we were first getting into crystals, and I want everyone to keep this in mind. It's not that this has like a superpower, but what it does is when you start to when you start to learn about it, about crystals, about the energy that they hold, um, and the way that you kind of can infuse it and add it to your well-being, it puts you in a different mindset as you are healing and as you are working on things, right? So it's like you would think to grab a crystal rather than, pop a pill initially, right? Maybe you think like, so it makes you think differently and it makes you respond differently to things that you're dealing with and managing with in your spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional bodies. Um, yeah,
Might I add something?
sure,
I
always.
also think that um this is my experience. I think crystals are great conduits of energy. They hold power based on intention that you give them. So everything that you just listed off, like as much as it has been fact and proven about each stone, it's also intention based. So if you look up the things you're like, okay, I this is something I'm working through and I'm intending that this crystal is going to benefit me and support it. You're putting your attention and energy into it and it will act as a conduit to support that. So it's the intention matters when you're using the crystal. Not like you said, it's not just magic. It's not
Right,
just
right. And it's not about believing. It's sort of knowing and understanding the capabilities, right? So like say you have pain and you place it on your wrist, right? And the thing that I love most about spirituality and the whole reason why we're doing this podcast and everything that we do in general, right? In our work is because to me spirituality is my experience. And so if somebody tells me like, "Oh, you should try a lapis for your headaches," right? Okay, I'll be like, "All right, I don't know." And usually I'll Penjie it and see if I resonate with that or something like that. But say I try it. Say I put it here. Say I try to like I'm going to increase my intuition. I'm going to help my headache. But it doesn't do anything for me, right? Well, it doesn't mean it can't work. It doesn't mean it's a bunch of bogus information. It takes practice. It takes, knowing, it takes patience. And then for me, it's could I keep track of and acknowledge the times that it has helped me, right? And then I come back to that next time. I'd be like, oh, what really helped me last time if something was bothering me? Like, oh, I grabbed the lapis, and
Hmm.
next thing you know, my sore throat was so much better, right? And it doesn't mean you're not going to do other things like gargle with salt water, or maybe
Like
someone else.
using it like I said, as a conduit, using it in
Mhm.
conjunction with other things, like making
Right,
tea
because
with
it's an
honey and
amplifier.
holding the crystal amplifier. It's going to
Right.
amplifier. It's going to amplify the benefits of use of the other practices that you're doing.
Right. And maybe it just does work, right? Like, I mean, I'll hold it and do Reiki on someone and they will feel better. And I use that as my guidance, and like you would just say to yourself like maybe it's not for everyone, but it totally helped me. So I'm going to keep doing it because it felt really good and it I had success with it. So it's something of, all of these things that we're sharing, the astrology, the crystals, everything is something where you have to kind of move into it, apply it, educate yourself and embrace it and see how you feel, see how it
See how
goes.
you feel. I know for me, it makes my life more beautiful and magical and fun. I love using astrology. I love wearing my crystals, and
Mhm.
that's personal for me. It works for me. It makes my life
Right.
pretty and magical, and I love
Right, but we also are very mindful. We do not, here we are sharing and educating you, but we do not go around saying, "Oh, well, you wouldn't have a sore throat if you just held your lapis." Like, we don't do that because we don't need to diagnose and tell everyone what to do. But if somebody comes to us and asks, then we might say, "Oh, well, this is something I've tried before. Why don't you see how you feel?" Things
it.
like that. I think that's important to note too. So, those are my
Or
mama disclaimers
your
because
mama disclaimers.
because that's how I like to embrace things. When somebody tells me what to do, right away, I'm just like, no. Like, I'm gonna have to go.
Or or you can always do neither. You don't wait for them to come, you don't ask, you just slide a crystal in someone's pocket. You're like, man, they really need it.
Yeah. No, that's funny. That's funny.
But that was all really good. Thank you for sharing about the crystals. Once again, everybody, reminder to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Hit the little reminder so you know when new episodes drop. Like, comment, do all of the things to support us. If you're listening,
Share, share.
share, share, share.
Yeah,
Please
share
share.
these.
Share with your friends, share with your neighbors, share with your
Share with the people you
coworkers.
don't love so that they can improve and learn things.
Yeah, share with the people that you know need it. Share with, and we're not talking to you if you're watching this. We don't mean you. Share with everyone you know.
Yeah.
Scream it from the rooftops. Scream it from your car window. Um, Share, reshare, copy the link, send it to things, do all the things. You're
Also reach
on.
out to us. Like,
Yeah,
let us know if you have a question. Or oh, you know what? We forgot the question of the week. Okay, we forgot our check-in chat. We added a new, Q&A and we forgot to do it. Do you want to do it now?
let's do
Because
it now.
we actually did have a question.
Okay.
What
The
was the
question
question?
was, what would be your advice if I never feel well when I hang out with my friends afterwards? The question
Okay. I
was,
think
I don't know if they mean emotionally or physically, but we could speak to both.
okay. Do you want me like we could both answer?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. I'll go first. So, what was the question again? Like,
I don't feel
what do I
well
do?
after I
Oh.
spend time with my friends.
Oh, okay. So it's not really a question that you're saying it as a comment.
No, the question was, what
What
should
do
I
I do?
do or why don't I feel well after spending
Oh,
time with
okay.
my
Got
friends?
it. I know a lot of people who have effects, and we've had it too, after you hang out with someone, because when you hang out with other people, you are among all of their energies, all of their thoughts, all of their energies, everything they bring to, the situation that you're in, the place that you go. It might not, okay, so I want you to consider it might not what you have to do is a little bit of analysis, like a detective. You kind of have to figure out, and this gets easier once you have a Penjie, because you can actually take your Penjie and you can actually ask different questions about why do I not feel good after I'm out with my friends? You can say, was it the place that we went to? Like where did you hang out? Was it the restaurant that didn't feel good or what, is there a particular person, that's, that their energy is actually very draining for me, and trying to figure out because it's not, again, it's not something to be critical of the other people. It's to be self-aware of how are you out in the world. So, you want to kind of narrow down why you don't feel well. But whenever you're with people, even people you love, I teach people how to sage. And when I do like home cleansings. Yeah, you've come with me before to do that. When we clear a home of energies and things like that, first of all, it's not a one-time thing. You can't do it like once and then never do it again, right? But you're clearing out the energy. So you have to remember when I'm teaching people about saging, they want to like sage the people that they're with. But I'm talking about when you don't feel good after you get home, you could go ahead and sage. You could go ahead and take a warm bath with Epsom salts and, sprinkle some magnesium in. You have to figure out how to cleanse your energy, but then after that, beyond that, you have to think, does this happen often? Because you are most influenced by, they always say, the 3 to 5 people that you spend the most time with. So, it's so funny. Every time we talk, I think of another episode. I'm like, oh, that's something I want to do an episode on. But it is very important who you spend your time with, who you hang out with, because you are receiving their mindset. You are like sitting in a soup of their thoughts and their energy. And, say you're out with a bunch of people who are very critical or very gossipy, and they're talking about everyone they see. They're making fun of their clothes. They don't like, certain things. You are taking on all of that energy, and you do have to decide, hey, I really like this person, but maybe I don't enjoy them in a big group. Maybe I enjoy just going one on one to get a coffee or have lunch. Maybe so it's another journey of, self inquiry. I can't say that word. Self inquiry to try to figure out, why don't you feel good? Is it the
Hmm.
people? Is it the place? Is it the things you're doing? Is it the things you're talking about? Is it the movie that you went to see? Like things like that. So, does that kind of answer that question?
Yeah, I think that's good. I would also just add lastly that it's not personal. It's okay. You're not going to connect with everyone in the world. If there's people you don't feel good after spending time with, you don't have to feel good always, but for the most part, like you said, you become the people you spend the most time around, and when you hang out with your friends, they should be adding to your life. They should be lifting you up and feeling good. And if you don't feel that way, maybe you don't need it in your life. But just notice how you feel. Is it, like mom said, just one thing? Like maybe they're going through a rough time, so you're feeling that? Or is it always? Is it just this person's energy frequency you just don't match? And that's okay. You're going to find people you match with and people you don't match with, and they'll find other people they, vibe with and don't vibe with. And it's just energy is energy, and you got to keep
Yeah.
figuring it out.
Yeah, and you want to be with people like you said who you feel empowered and you feel excited and you feel better after you hang out with them, not depleted, not worse.
Mhm.
And you also have to remember and keep in mind, are you able to be yourself around these people? Like how authentic are you being? Because if you are
Mhm.
hiding the innermost parts of yourself to kind of people please and blend in, that's exhausting. So you're
That
you're
is.
not going to feel good when you get back after that. But,
Yeah,
so I wish for you that you will find people and also figure out and identify why you're not feeling good and then hopefully make a change.
I love it. All right. Well, throwing it back around to subscribe, like, comment, reshare, do all the things. If you're listening on audio on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure to rate us 5 stars because that helps us keep going. And yeah, follow us on Instagram to stay up to date on all our exciting things coming up. Go to askpenjie.com to sign up so you're some of the first to know when we're ready to launch and everything is up. But right now, if you're feeling called and ready to receive your Penjie, you can send us a DM on Instagram to purchase and join Ask Penjie Society right now, even while we're still building and everything's up, because we do have our society starting. So that would be
Yes,
really
we do meet weekly already.
so if you're ready to join and you're ready for your Penji, send us a DM. But thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode, and we'll see you next week on Mystic Like My Mama.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.